Well, good evening, everybody, and how are you? Welcome to Insight with Blue Feather. And then tonight, our show is based on who's watching you? Who is watching you? We have many spirit people, as if you can see my finger pointing up. There's many guys around us that are watching us. We could also joke and say Big Brother is watching us also, but the main thing to know is that spirit, as I call it, is watching over us. Blue Feather is my guide, and he's one of the ones who is watching me or watching over me, however we say it. And it just happened the other morning when I was balancing out my chakras, because I do that every day now because the energy is so heavy, that he came through. And when he came through, when he does come through with me, my voice always changes. So when I was balancing out my chakras the other morning, which really surprised me because I've been doing this for a long time, he came through and helped me balance out my chakras because my voice changed. Because I talk out loud when I'm doing it. I'm laying on the floor and I'm stretching my body and I'm balancing out my chakras. And here he came. So who's watching me or who's watching you? All of our spirit guides, all of our angels, and there's just so many. And then also we have the big guy, and all of y'all know who the big guy is, right? So to me, he's the one that really does look out for us. I just want you to know, if anybody has a question tonight, all you have to do is call 813-814-1601, and I will answer your question. I forgot to tell you that I am an ordained minister, of course, and that Blue Feather is my guide, and he is the one that gives me all of the information when I'm doing my readings. I do readings, I do house events, I teach classes, I teach How Psychic Are You, Meet Your Spirit Guides, which is part of what we're going to talk about tonight. And then my specialty, or the one I love the most, is dream class. So anybody have a question, please give me a call. Now, we want to know, who is watching us? Who's watching us? Who's watching you? It's, like I said, many spirits. Many spirits are watching us. So to make contact with master spirits, they are the great teachers or the prophets, also known as the ascended masters, okay, who once lived on earth and who are recognized and reverend for their pure spirituality and wisdom. So what we're saying here is all those guys over there that are watching out for us, they are ascended masters, they are angels, they are also our family who has passed over, watches over us. And I think that that is really special that they do that, because we do need that. We do need guidance. That's the word, guidance. So I would just say to you, many angels, many angels. That every one of us could tell a story about an angel, something that happened. It's like when you say you walk into a grocery store and you hear somebody saying your name and nobody's there, but then something good comes out of it. So it's an angel, a person who is helping us, okay? So please know that there are many. They come from every religion, culture, and civilization, although you don't have to practice the belief with which they are associated in order to make a psychic contract. So what I'm saying here is with all of the members, with all of the master teachers, angels, and all of our guides, all you have to do, it doesn't matter what nationality you are, what culture you are, they're all there for you, okay? The one thing is we all have an Indian guide, every one of us, no matter what you say. I highly, really believe we have an Indian guide. That's how I've been taught. So see, Blue Feather is my guide. And the way that you can find out who your guide is that you can take time to meditate, okay? That's the only way you're going to find out. You take time to meditate, you calm your mind down, and then you ask them who they are, and they will answer you. If they don't do it the first time around, they will definitely do it the second time around. So please know that. There also are gods and goddesses, are another branch of master spirits that you can connect with their essence. And a good example of that is the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary, the Blessed Mother, okay? You can speak to her. You can ask her to come in and help you no matter what. She can be right there for you. Also, Jesus is another master teacher that we can call on. A lot of people might think that, oh, because he is who he is, he would not come through, but that is not the case. There are a lot of times when people actually can see and or feel his presence. He is a master teacher. He will come through to help you when needed. So please know that, okay? Buddha can help you. Buddha is from a long time ago, and he still exists in a lot of ways. So he can come through and he can help you. So you can call on many master teachers and gods and or goddesses. And the one person that I would like to talk to you about more than anybody, well, we have Kuan Yin, and Kuan Yin is very much like the Blessed Mother, and she will come through to help us. But the one that I really love more than anything is Saint Bridget. Saint Bridget is with the Celtic goddess, and she is one who will come through, and she has a lot to do with childbirth. So please know that there's many there that can come through and help you when in need. I had a flat tire a long time ago. It's been a while. It went flat when I was driving on Hillsborough Avenue, and I was able to turn into a 7-Eleven, and there was two men standing there. One was in a suit, and one was just in plain dress. So I got out of the car, and they said to me, "You look like you have a problem." I said, "Yes, I think I do, because my tire's going flat." And here comes this gentleman on a bicycle. Now, I say a gentleman, but he looked like a bag person, as we call them. He looked like somebody who, he had a beard, he had a hat, he was gruffy looking, he had poor clothes on. He come walking over to the car, and he said to me, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Well, I have a flat tire. How can you help me?" And he said, "Oh, I can fix it for you." He got off his bike, and here these two gentlemen in their suits and well-dressed are watching him. So he gets off and he fixes my car. He fixes my flat tire. He pulls my reserve one out. He fixes it. And then they all start talking after he was finished. And needless to say, all of them were from Michigan, and all of them work for Goodyear. So I think that was pretty special. So I went to give him, I actually had cash in my pocket, and I went to give him my $20, and the one gentleman in the suit said, "No, I'll take care of it for you." And by God, he gave the man $50. So I just think it's so special. So that's an angel around us, and they're there all the time. So you need to really understand that they're there to help us. Okay, and there are many, many angels,
You can't
many
shut it up.
angels.
She won't stop talking.
So please know that. There's Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. They're the chief angels, and they're the first in the rank of power. So now, if anybody has a question, just ask me, okay? I'm right here. I'm right here. So ask me a question, please.
I'm good then.
No?
Hey, Janet.
Hi, how
Hi.
are you?
I'm doing pretty good, but my dad wanted to talk to you about, he'd been ill and he'd been seeing a few things in the house. I'll let him describe. And then when he went into the hospital, he saw some other things. So, Dad,
Oh, okay, now tell me your dad's name so I can tell everybody.
Al.
Okay, Al, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I just got out of the hospital with a heart attack, but I feel good.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I am
When
so
I see
glad
I'm
to
laying
hear
in bed in
that.
my room, they don't come in my room, but come up the hallway and they'll stop either in white or black. And you can't see their face, they don't have no feet. They'll only
Okay.
be there for an instant and
Oh,
gone.
okay. And
Now
then
I seen a blonde-haired woman. I couldn't make her face out. And when I got into the hospital, now this blonde-haired woman was there, and she was the head of taking care of me.
there you go.
I seen her before I even got there. What do you
That
think about that?
they were letting you know that you were going to be taken care of.
Yeah, definitely. But
Yes, so that
what
was,
is it in the black? It sits there, no face, no feet. What's that?
well, there's good and then there's bad, okay? There's white and then there's dark. I don't feel that black entity was bad though. I really don't, because I feel you would have felt something bad. Did you feel anything bad?
No, not a bit bad. They just was there for an instant, and I would say something, they was gone.
Yeah. It was just we're going to use the word dark entity, but it wasn't a bad dark energy.
But
Okay.
I've seen them many times.
You do? I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like it can be someone from the other side that's connected to you, like a father. What about your father? Do you feel that it
Could
could
be.
possibly have been him? Because I don't feel that the dark entity was bad. I feel that he was just a strong impression for you.
Yeah, they was
Does
there.
that make sense?
Only for a minute I would turn my head, they'd be gone.
Yes. But I think it's a blessing that they're showing you that they're there. I really believe that's a blessing. And when they do come to us like that, that is called a visitation. They are visiting us. And it's not always easy for their energy to come through, especially if they've been there for a long time.
I seen them in the hospital too, in the hallway.
Yes.
I had a room by myself. There was a hallway coming up, and they'd come right at the end of the hallway, and I'd turn my head, and they'd be gone.
Yeah, see, but the good thing is you saw them. So I feel that they were just letting you know that they're looking after you and for you not to worry.
It could be.
Okay.
Could be.
Yes. Yeah, they're making sure that you're okay in the process of what you had to go through.
That could be it, because I see them quite often.
I think that that's beautiful. Do you ever see your mother?
I can't make out with nothing. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. It's just a piece of cloth. It looks like to me, but it's an image. There's something in it. But when it goes, it just goes.
Right.
Don't
Well,
go up. Go sideways.
yeah. I would just say to you that I also feel that your mother is around you.
I hope so.
No, she is. That's that's what they're telling me to tell you, that your mother is around you more than you think, okay?
Well, I hope so, because this is my second heart attack, and I'm on dialysis, and that, 3 days a week, 4 hours a time.
Yes. But the good thing is you're still here.
Yeah, well, I'm 86, and I'm ready to go anytime.
Well, I hear what you're saying.
Oh, I have dreams about it. I have dreams about my mother and my dad.
Well, see, now you
My wife.
answered my question. You see your mother in your dreams.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And
Well,
another thing I see is my daughter making all kinds of money. Just flying all over. Yeah,
I like those.
just flying all over.
I'm not going to argue with them on those.
I think that that's good, because what they're doing is they're letting you know she's going to be taken care of when you are ready to leave.
Yeah. Well,
If you see money and everything, they're letting you know that not to worry. Okay?
Yeah.
So I think that's beautiful. So you just keep on, I can tell you this. Were you not to want them to be around you, you can tell them to leave and don't come back.
no,
And
I
they
won't
won't.
do that.
I know, I knew that, but I was just letting you know that at any time, if there's a spirit around you and you're not comfortable with that spirit, then you tell them to just leave and leave you alone, and they will.
Yeah.
Okay. So far
I
you're
just have
okay.
a good feeling when they're there.
Okay, so that's good. So just know though that you're being protected, and that they're looking out for you. Okay.
I believe
All
it.
right.
I believe
All
it.
right.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, that's it.
I believe
Okay, so if anyone else is listening, please give Janet a call. I'll put the number up so we can show that number again so they can give you a call. Okay?
813-814-1601. Okay.
Yeah.
But let me just tell you a couple things about our angels. There's many types of angels that are around us. And Saint Thomas Aquinas, which is the 13th century, he is an Italian theologian who developed a theory called the three choirs. So he has, in his own way, created what he calls the three choirs of angels. And these three choirs of angels are looking out for you. So you need to know that. And the first choir, were they to be around you, which are the seraphims and the cherubims and the thrones. These are, they are near to God, and they are dedicated to face-to-face worship of God. They also serve as heavenly counselors. So they are counselors up there helping you, okay? And then the second choir indicates the knowledge of God through the universe, or as heavenly governors. So see, we got governors over there, and we got governors here. So, and they look out for us. And one of them is Shemal, who is the power of the bearers of the conscious and the keepers of history. So just know there's many, many people over there. One of the other, when I say people, I mean angels or spirits. And another one is Saint Germain. So how many of you heard of Saint Germain? Saint Germain is called the Flame. He is a purple color. And Saint Germain was reincarnated as Saint Joseph. He was reincarnated as King Solomon. He is a very strong master teacher who comes through as the flame and helps us in many, many ways. You might think that you're not good enough to have like a Saint Germain or a Jesus or a Blessed Mother around you, but that is not the case. That is not the case. We have many, many teachers up there that are more than willing to want to help us. Now, the way that I met Blue Feather, who happens to be my Indian guide, and he happens to be Cherokee, and he was my father in a past life. So now, how did I find out about that? Well, I found out that he was my father in a past life through a heavy meditation. And in that meditation, I saw myself as a little girl with long pigtails, and I saw him as an Indian, and he was right there. So they say that he was my father in a past life. Now, how did I find out about Blue Feather? I had a medium friend of mine, a spirit medium friend of mine, when I was in the car with her, who told me that Blue Feather was my guide. He came through her to tell her to let me know that he's been around me for a long time. And he also let me know that I wasn't always easy to get along with. I thought that was pretty good. But he didn't mind. He still kept looking out for me. So it doesn't matter our personalities. He said that there was many times when I was a challenge to him, or I was just a challenge to life, and it was okay because he looked out for me. And I think that is really great, because the thing that is important is that they all look out for us, and even in our worst times. So please know that, okay? Angels, as I said, help, angelic help is all around. All we have to do is ask. However, there are times when we receive angelic help without asking. So I would say this: is there anybody out there who has a story that they can call in and tell me an incident that happened, like my flat tire, or something to where they know that it's an angel? They knew that it was an angel of love helping them. Please call 813-814-1601 if you have any questions on that. There you go. It's going right across the screen. So once more, I will say to you, angelic help is all around. All we have to do is ask. However, there are times when we receive angelic help without asking. Okay, so there are dramatic circumstances to where we receive help. And I do believe that my flat tire was a dramatic circumstance. And I could tell you all another story about a flat tire in Miami, coming home. On the causeway, coming home, I had a flat tire. And a trucker came behind me, stopped, changed my tire, got back in his car, and he left. And I took his name and number off of the back of the tag that they had on that truck. And I was able to call those people that he worked for to let them know that he was an angel. He was a good person. I'm on the road on my own, and a lot can happen sometimes, but all he did was change my tire, get back in the car, and he was gone. So I've had some pretty I could say scary incidences, but those scary incidences were really, they were angels. So they weren't so scary once it was over. So talking to a stranger and we look and they are gone. And when we're talking to that stranger, you know, it seems so very real, but then all of a sudden they're gone. And when I worked up in the villages, here's another story to tell you. When I worked up in the villages, there was a woman who was in a car accident, and she was caught in the car. This priest came over and was able to get her out of that car. And the news was there and everything. And they were talking about how the priest came over, helped her out, and they went looking for him so that they could get his name and the congregation of his church and everything. And he was gone. He was only there long enough to get her out of that car, and then he left. So see, that was another angel all around. So I say to you, if you would like to invite and invoke and ask an angel at any time for their help, you can do that. You can ask for the help that you need no matter what. And the spoken word is a stronger energy. And by that, I mean that you can call on them, okay? You can speak from your heart. Dear guardian angel, thank you for being with me. Please help me at this time, and describe the help that you want so that the outcome is for the highest and the good of everyone concerned. Then when you get through, you say thank you. Thank you for your help with the situation, even if you haven't yet received the benefits. Simply know that the benefits will come and show your gratitude. So you can always, always ask for help. If you don't get it right away, just know in your heart that it's going to come about, okay? I can tell you all so many stories about all the angels that have been around me all this time. I really could, because sometimes you just have to look at your day and how it goes about, and how just out of nowhere someone can come in and help you. Now, does anybody have a question for me? Because if you do, I would appreciate it if you would call 813-814-1601. Okay? All right. There you go. It's going right across our screen. So, one of our best angels, just to let you know, my phone is ringing, so I'm going to run and go answer it because I did not bring the phone with me. So hold on. How are you? That's okay. I forgot to bring the phone to the table. How can I help you, girl? Thank you. Well, let's do it. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, let me just say this. Do you have a question for me? Okay, so then that's okay. So let me do it this way for you, okay? Much happenings. There's much going on around you. There's much going on around you in a lot of ways. So what Spirit is saying here is that you need to They want you to calm down. Does that make sense? They want for you to, well, sometimes meditate. And I know you don't have time to do that all the time, right? Right. So now transformation is a word that they're giving me. So they're letting me know many changes are coming, but I feel that the changes are good. I already know that you're going to do some travel. I feel that the traveling that you're getting ready to do is going to be very, very good for you. It's the mingling with people, and that's going to make some you're going to make some good contacts is what they're saying to me. Okay, but not only that one, but there's another one. Okay, there's another trip after that, so please know that. Okay, all right. And what is Miami to you? Your son, right? Okay, so I'm going to say this, but I'm in your business world, but I'm going to say something to do with business coming up. So have the, no, it doesn't make that it has to be now, but it's something coming. So please hold on to that because it's not that far away. It's in your business world, not your personal. Okay, so you have the one trip to, what'd you say, New York? New York? Okay, New York. Okay, that's going to, where we said many contacts. So that's going to be good. But there's another one after that in Miami. So please know that, okay? Okay. All right. It's when he says Miami, it's all that area. So that can mean Fort Lauderdale, all of that. Okay. So yes. So yeah. And then I'm going to give you one more, okay? And I'm once more in your business world, okay? And that's California. Something about California. So do you know anybody in California? Oh, well, that's good to know. Okay, thank you. So something in its business world, something coming. Yeah, so the message is just to stay patient, okay? And that's when we stay patient. That's when it comes about. It's hard to stay patient, okay? It will be the contacts that you make that's going to help with your financial. Okay, so where there's many contacts, New York, there's contacts, Miami. Those two mainly will be the ones that will financially get you ahead of the game. Not saying that California can't do that, but looking at what is now, I would say between the both, it can turn out to be a financial gain. Okay, so, oh, you're more than welcome. All right, anytime. Okay, thank you. Bye. See, all you have to do is just call me at 813-814-1601, and I will answer your questions. Now, I want to talk to you about ghost. So the gentleman that I was talking to earlier, CC, your dad, will you please let him know about ghost? This is what they say about ghost, okay? In traditional belief and fiction, a ghost, phantom, apparition, or spook is the soul or the spirit of a dead person or an animal that can appear in visible form or other manifestations to the living, okay? Descriptions of the apparition of ghosts vary widely from an invisible presence to translucent or barely visible wispy shapes to realistic lifelong visions. Okay, lifelike visions. So what your dad was saying, they can also be considered ghosts and or spirits, okay? The deliberate attempt to contact the spirit of a deceased person is known as necromancy, or in spiritism as a seance. So what they're saying here is when you really want to try to get spirit to come in, you can form a circle and do what we call a seance, and then we can talk to spirit and ask for the ghosts, or not ghosts, but for the spirit souls to come in and talk to us. So did all that make sense? I hope. If not, you can call me at 813-814-1601 and say, Janet, be a little bit more clear, please. Okay. The belief and manifestation of spirits, of the spirits of the dead, is widespread, dating back to ancestor worship and pre-literature cultures. Certain religious practices, funeral rites, exorcisms, and some practices of spiritualism and ritual magic are specifically designed to rest in spirits of the dead. So ghosts are generally described as solitary essences that haunt particular locations, objects, or people they were associated with in life. So were you to see a ghost, were you to see a spirit, then know that somewhere along the way that they were associated with you in life, okay? It's not really easy for them to come over here and talk to us once that they passed over, okay? So please do know that it takes a little bit of work on their part. So just know that if we're that lucky to be able to see them, that it is a blessing in many ways, okay? And then I could say to you, while deceased ancestors are universally regarded as vulnerable and often imagined as having a continued presence in some sort of afterlife, the spirit of a deceased person, which remains present in the material world, is called a ghost, is regarded as an unnatural, or it can be an undesirable state of affairs. And the idea of ghost or revenants is associated with the reaction of fear. So what they're saying here is do everything in your power not to be afraid were a spirit to come to you, because they're not usually there to harm us. They're there to help us. So please just know that, okay? And then, we have what they call poltergeists. So poltergeists occupy numerous niches in cultural folklore and have traditionally been described as troublesome spirits who, unlike ghosts, they haunt a particular person instead of a particular location or a specific location. So your poltergeists haunt the person, not the place where they're at. So please know that, okay? Poltergeist manifestations have been reported in many cultures and countries, including Japan and Brazil, Australia, but also poltergeists in the United States. So they haunt the person, they don't haunt the house. So please know that too. So it does date all the way back to the first century, poltergeist. So any questions, anyone? I have a good 5 minutes left if you would like to call 813-814-1601 and ask me a question. you can do that. Okay? All right, so then let me teach you this one last thing before you leave me. When I say we have angels, guides, and many around us, you have as many as 5 guides and or spiritual body guides according to spiritualism. That is what I have been taught. So you have an Indian guide, all of us. And indigenous cultures close to their land can be skilled warriors. My blue feather is definitely a warrior, and he is a very big Indian. And he has been seen by a few, and they see his bigness. I feel his bigness, but I've had a few people see how big he is. You have a doctor of chemistry, an alchemist, and they work closely with our energy bodies to bring about changes, okay? They concern themselves with our physical state and well-being, and they can help us heal our bodies just by asking. We have a doctor of philosophy, concerned with our spiritual development, and are a huge asset to us. Okay, they are both our strictest taskmasters and our biggest cheerleaders as we grow spiritually. We have a joy guide. My joy guide is Sassy. And I learned that out at in Camp Chesterfield when one of the spirit mediums drew her picture. And she is a little redhead with freckles and a ponytail. But the Joy Guide have been entrusted by Creator to remind us of the lighter side of life. And it helps to put humor into situations, and they are usually young children. So Sassy is very young. Now, the other one that we have that's most important is our master guides, and that is Saint Germain. He's very much a master teacher. Jesus, and once more the Blessed Mother, or Kuan Yin. And they walk with you on your journey, and they concern themselves with teaching and guiding you on your path of enlightenment, okay? So spirit guides include your guardian angels and can be considered our protector guides, okay, or our spiritual bodyguards. They have lived on the earth in some previous life, and you may have known them in a previous life. And that is only if, of course, that you believe in reincarnation, which is something that I sincerely do believe in. So, and then the last to know, please, is we have our relatives and our ancestors. So our relatives, especially our parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, children, care for us while they are alive, and they don't stop when their physical bodies die and their spirits pass on to the soul planes. So please, they continue to take an interest in our lives and will do their best to give us guidance in times of trouble. Okay, so please know that. So they come to us in our dreams. They come doing things that make us think of them, manifesting smells. Sometimes, you know, if your dad smoked a cigarette or a pipe, sometimes after they pass over, you can smell that cigarette and or that pipe, okay? And then they can touch us, believe that. Sometimes, you know, spirit can get close enough to where they can touch us, and I think that right there is pretty special, okay? And then they also can call our names. So just know that they are around us all the time, helping us. And I think that that's very important to know, okay? So when you ask who's watching you, I would say to you, there are many watching you, watching over you. You know, it's, you might not think they're there but they are. If you ever get chills, or if you ever get cold, or if you get hot in a place, just pay attention to your surroundings and look at what's going on around you, and just know that they're right there watching you. So I want to say to you, thank you very much for tonight. I have enjoyed it. I hope that I have taught you something. I personally like to know that they're watching me, or watching over me, and I never worry about it. I also have an expression that I say all the time. I am surrounded in white light, love, and protection. And I want for you to maybe think about that too, because we are all surrounded in white light, love, and protection. So you have a good evening. If there's anything I can do for anybody, once more, call 813-814-1601. I do phone readings. You can go out to my webpage, which is, of course, www.bluefeather.net, and you can get a hold of me that way. My phone number and all is out there, okay? So have a good evening, and thank you very, very much.